What's going on, guys? It's Cimoooooooo coming back at you guys with another live duel commentary. So on the left we have Subterror going up against Cyber Dragon on the right, and this is exciting. These are matches for the new format. We see the Subterror player revealing a Guru, a Solemn Judgment, and a Fiendess. Solemn Judgment now is at 3 under the brand new July 2019 Forbidden and Limited list. He's going to go ahead and grab the Guru, and I'm just excited to commentate some matches under the new format. Both of these decks are actually very solid tier 2-ish / rogue contenders from the last format, and a lot of people are talking about, trying to play these just because neither of these decks were really hindered by anything, and it's going to be a pretty interesting matchup here. So we see just the set Guru presumably and a set card from the Subterror player. Do keep in mind, I want to let you guys know that there is going to be another Pro Play Tour event. This time it's going to be taking place in Philadelphia on August 17th and 18th. Another $2,000 prize pool up for grabs, only 20 bucks to enter. Check the link down in the description if you're going to be in the area, and I hope to see you guys there. I will be doing live stream commentary for the event as well. So in the meantime, the Cyber Dragon player kicked things off with a copy of Cyber Emergency that did get hit with an Ash Blossom, but now we see a Cyber Dragon core coming down, and that's going to get hit with Effect Veiler. So that is a pretty large series of moves there. We are going to see a special summon though of Cyber Dragon Naster as the follow-up. He's discarding another copy of Naster to special summon itself from the hand in a very Galaxy Soldier-esque way, I guess you could say, and now that is going to hit the field. It doesn't have any targets for it at the moment, but it is going to be there for possibly any potential follow-up moves. Looks like he's got, a machine duplication. That's huge because Naster is considered a Cyber Dragon, but the Guru player has a Solemn Judgment. Oh my god. Any of these control decks now just being able to have access to 3 copies of Judgment is crazy, because this card is pretty much going to always be live and can stop some of the strongest cards in the game, machine duplication being one of them. And like before, where Ash Blossom would be pretty much the only thing to really stop a machine dupe, now we have stuff like Judgment at 3. So we do see the Seeger come down being link summoned with the core, as well as the Naster. That's going to go ahead and attack over the Subterror Nemesis Archer, which Nemesis Archer has an ability to special summon a Subterror monster directly from the deck. And not only that, but it sets it face down, just setting it up to use any of its abilities. So in this case, it is a copy of Subterror Umastrix. He's going to go ahead, it looks like a normal summon a copy of Subterror Guru to follow that up. So Umastrix, when it's flipped face up, actually banishes a monster. It's a monster or card. Forgive me if I don't recall exactly. But he's going to banish the Seeger, swing in with the Guru as well as the Umastrix. I believe Umastrix is like 2,600 attack. Guru's on 16, so that's going to be 4,200 attack. And that's going to put the Cyber Dragon player down to, it's going to be at 4,400. I can see his life total right there on his phone there. So that's going to be a total of 3,600 damage in total. So I guess Umastrix is 2,000 in that case. Twin Twister coming down. He's going to pitch the copy of hers. Going to go after that back row there. Now, it looks like the player's just clarifying the, just asking for the effect of hers here if there's going to be anything going on. I think the Cyber Dragon player is just explaining what potentially could be going on here before the Subterror player does make his move. That looked like another copy of Judgment. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that it was. So now we see that the hers triggered. He added the core back to his hand, and now he gets to use the effective core and possibly go ahead and search here. He is going to use the effect of Guru in response, though. Remember, Guru is a quick effect as long as you control a Subterror, another Subterror card. So since he controls the Umastrix, he gets to flip both the core as well as another, I believe it has to be the Guru itself. He flips those both face down. The core will still resolve, though, since it's not negating the effect or anything. So the Cyber Dragon player will still get his search. Does have a few options here. Looks like he's going to go for that Cyberload Fusion. Cyberload Fusion could be potentially... It's not going to really do anything at this particular moment, I don't think. Oh, looks like it is. Okay, so it looks like Cyberload Fusion is going to resolve here. He's going to go ahead... Oh, it can shuffle from Banish. Okay, I did not know that. So Cyberload Fusion can actually use Banish targets as well, which is pretty strong. And he's going to go ahead and make that Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon using both that and the set copy of Core. Now we can use Rampage Dragon's effect. He can send multiple copies of Cyberload Cyber Dragon to his graveyard so that the Rampage Dragon can attack multiple times. He can attack over the Umastrix. He can attack the Guru. Guru will still trigger if he flips it up, though, so that is like the one downside, I suppose. But, I mean, that Rampage Dragon is going to put in a lot of work here. But Guru is going to be having that search and then the extra draw following up on the Subterror's turn. It's not going to be, you know, it's not the worst thing to happen, but it's going to basically put both players in a top decking sort of position here. And it looks like we're going to see the Guru flip up. He is going to go ahead and get that search here. I'm curious what he's going to search. At this point, he's just trying to have anything just to deal with that Rampage Dragon. It looks like he's going to go for Fiendus. Fiendus does have the other ability besides its hand trap ability to resurrect cards, so that might come in clutch here. Both players are going to shuffle up since they both did go into the deck. They're going to cut one another's decks. And now we're going to go ahead and see the Subterror player's turn. So he's going to draw. We didn't get to see what it was. Fiendus is going to be normal summoned, flip itself down, and then it gets to also set, I believe, another monster. So he's going to go ahead and set that Umastrix, possibly. And it looks like he's going to flip it. It's going to go face down. Umastrix would be able to deal with the Rampage Dragon here, so that is a good thing. But that's all he's going to do. He's going to keep that one card in hand. So we don't know what that is. Could possibly be another hand trap. Now the Cyber Dragon player is top decking as well. We got a big top deck battle going on, but Rampage Dragon can use its effect again, so we can go ahead and get in for another volley of attacks here. We do see the Veiler come down, so it was a hand trap. That's pretty significant, but there's the Levianeer. Oh my god, that is crazy. So Levianeer, one of the new spicy cards in Cyber Dragon, since they play a ton of lights, and the darks are actually the fusion monsters, funny enough, so you can actually have plenty of targets to summon this out. If you go the entire light route, you can resurrect one of your monsters, and if any of the monsters are properly fusion summoned, those are valid targets. If you banish a combination of light and dark, you can pop cards. Like, it's just such a strong card. Looks like he's going to go for the resurrection effect. Going to use Naster. Naster's going to use its ability to resurrect Cyber Dragon, and now the Cyber Dragon player is right back in this. That was one hell of a top deck from the Cyber Dragon player, and he should have full control at this point. Looks like the Cyber Dragon player just clarifying on what the defense value of Umastrix is. That might be what's 2,600. I believe it has a higher defense than it does attack, but you can go ahead and correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments. Looks like he's going to go ahead and overlay here because Rampage Dragon is in fact a level 5. So now he can go ahead and make Nova. He can use Nova's effect to resummon a Cyber Dragon, and then he can go ahead and make Infinity and pretty much just have a nice setup here to be able to deal with the set monsters and just pretty much have an entire board to himself. So we see Nova down. Looks like he's contemplating something here. I'm not exactly sure what. Everything is known at this point. Just goes directly into Infinity. And it looks like, again, the player's just clarifying on values of cards. Infinity's going to go ahead and attack into the Fiendus, and he's just going to actually pass the turn. So Subterror player does draw. Because he used the effect of Levianeer, he cannot attack with it. Is one of the drawbacks, but it's, I mean, that's a pretty fair drawback for the amount of advantage that a Levianeer can generate for any player that does drop it down. We see a card set, though. And that could realistically be anything. Subterror just plays an absolute onslaught of back row, so I mean, it could be another Solemn Judgment for all we know. They do play stuff like Floodgates. It could be something like Crackdown. There are a lot of options that it could be, so it's really hard to speculate. So now that Cyber Dragon player, he does have that Infinity, so it is a way to negate. However, he wants to save that negation for the Umastrix, so he's going to flip the Umastrix up here. Infinity will negate it. And so now he can go ahead and attack directly with the Cyber Dragon. Oh, but it is Crackdown. Interesting. So now the Crackdown, although it's not going to, you know, it's not really going to do a whole lot, but it does prevent the Cyber Dragon player from just dealing any damage to him and finishing this up. So now he's the 3,000 attack monster, rips a Pot of Extravagance off the top, but he is going to negate that with the Infinity. So, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much what you got to do at this point. But at the same time, though, the Cyber Dragon player does need a way to clear the Levianeer, because Levianeer is sitting on 3k. I think Infinity can just go ahead and absorb it, though, which is the unfortunate part. And then it looks like he can probably just, you know, have control at this point. There's a Hers with machine. Oh my god, the top decks from both of these players have just been absurd. Cyber Dragon takes game 1, and we're gonna go into game 2 now. This is interesting because, like, with Cyber Dragon, you kind of want to force them to go first, but Subterror can actually struggle pretty hard if it doesn't get to go first. And it looks like he's got a couple hand traps there, but one set plus Inspector border. I don't know about that, because Cyber Dragon, if he just hard draws a Cyber Dragon, that can just out the border instantly. I guess it is a lot of monster effects, but there's an evenly match, so we're gonna see. It looks like he's going to banish the border potentially. This might be one of the most lowest value evenly matches I've ever seen. Interesting, he chooses to keep the set back row, that he values that back row more than the border, but it does clear it. Here comes the hers now. If we see a machine duplication, oh my god, the machine duplication again! But there's the Ash Blossom. Okay, so Ash is going to take care of the machine dupe this time around, so that's good. Cyber Dragon player's not going to go completely crazy. He is going to link it off, though, into Almirage, which will trigger hers' ability to get a search. Looks like the Subterror player is going to let that go through, and he's going to go ahead and grab a Cyber Dragon out of his deck. Now, the Cyber Dragon player does not have a battle phase because he did evenly match, so isn't really too much to worry about at this point, but sitting comfortably on, 4 cards compared to the Subterror player's, I believe, 3. And there's a Pot of Desire, so he's about to up that card count really quick here. Gonna banish 10. He already knows Ash is gone, so unless that set card is something like Judgment, this is more than likely gonna go through, although we'd probably want to prioritize that for just more high value cards potentially. And we're gonna see what he's got there. Looks like there's a Cyber Dragon in his hand that he did search off the hers. I think there's an Ash as the middle card, but it's a little bit difficult to tell. We're gonna see a Naster come down, so he's gonna pitch a Cyber Dragon to special summon it. And this could be pretty big. Naster could potentially, I believe, resurrect the Cyber Dragon and then just help build his board even further. And it looks like that's what he's going to do. He's going to target that Cyber Dragon, resurrect it. Naster just being such a powerful card in the Cyber Dragon deck ever since its release now. Really helping bolster the Cyber Dragon into more competitive relevance. So here comes the Seeger now. And there's the strike on the Seeger. So he's going to take 15. That's the first damage of the game. And now the Cyber Dragon player is going to be left with just an Almirage on the field, at least for the time being. And it looks like we're going to see if he has anything else here. Ooh, looks like he might still have a follow-up. There's an Overload Fusion. Okay. So this is an interesting choice because with Overload Fusion, I mean, he already had his battle phase, so I'm curious to see what he wants to do here. Again, I don't know the rest of the cards in his hand, so he probably has a pretty good idea of what he's doing here. He's going to go for the Rampage Dragon. He could just potentially want to maybe, oh, okay, so Rev System. Oh, this is actually really strong. So now he has 2 level 5s that he can go ahead and overlay, and he can make a Infinity and actually have a pretty solidified board here. So that's actually a really strong move, having the Rev System and the Overload Fusion for this combination. Rev System just acting as an archetype monster reborn, essentially. So he's going to go ahead and overlay for the Nova, since they are both level 5s. Use Nova's effect to resurrect the Cyber Dragon, but he is going to be hit by Effect Veiler. So it doesn't seem like the Nova is going to resurrect. That's partially good for the Subterror player, but he's got to still play through this Infinity, and he only has 1 card in hand. So this is going to be really, really tough. He's going to need like something plus Extravagance to be able to play through this. We're going to see a set card and pass. That is not what you want to see, but this is sometimes the difficulty with these more back row heavy decks. It's very difficult for them to play through a single negation on 1 turn anyway, just because they don't have multiple cards that can be activated one after another. So we're going to have to see how the Subterror player can deal with this. He's going to use the Infinity to absorb Almirage, just bolster its attack a little bit higher. I believe it's sitting on 27, and just have a possible extra negation. We're going to see a copy of Core, which he's going to hit with Solemn Warning. That's a little bit dangerous, because that's going to put his life total very low, although that Core might have just been the end of it if that were allowed to resolve. So, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures. Infinity can swing for that 27. That's going to put his life down to 1,800, I believe. Yes, and Subterror player, again, he needs to have 2 cards. He needs to have something to bait Infinity and something that's going to deal with it. And that's going to do it. He had the Ash in hand as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Cyber Dragon is going to take it, and we'll catch you next time.